across modalities. Gemini has been multimodal since the beginning. Our Gemini 1 models could see, hear, understand vast amounts of information, and natively generate across modalities. Gemini 2 took the next step with advanced reasoning, enabling AI agents to think, code, and take action. We're taking all of this to the next level with Gemini 3. Gemini 3 is the strongest model in the world for multimodality and reasoning. It's our most intelligent model that helps you bring any idea to life. Starting today, we're rolling out Gemini 3 in our products so you can experience it for yourself. In Google Search, Gemini 3 enables new kinds of generative user interfaces. It codes interactive simulations like this one, custom built for your search. In the Gemini app, you can use the vast range of Gemini 3 capabilities for all kinds of tasks. You could supercharge how you learn, create, plan, take action, analyze complex videos, and more. You could start building with Gemini 3 Pro, available in the API today. We're even introducing a new platform, Google Anti-Gravity. It's our vision of software development at the frontier of model intelligence. It lets you use Gemini 3's agentic coding capabilities to accelerate how you build. The rollout of our Gemini 3 series will continue in coming weeks. We'll be introducing models with new features across different modalities and more model sizes. This is just the beginning of our Gemini 3 series. It's another critical step on the road towards making AI more intelligent and personal for you. Learn more about how you can try Gemini 3 at deepmind.google/Gemini.
Great. Now that was a preview and launch video that was announced yesterday with the launch of Gemini 3 and its capabilities. And I've been looking at the chatter online within the ecosystem around how Gemini 3.0 is a state-of-the-art model, topping and sort of being on top across all benchmarks available. Let's probably go through that, and what we will do as part of this video is try to build like an iOS app using Gemini 3.0 and their pro models and see how that looks, and that gets us across from building our app from scratch just from a small and simple idea. Next thing, uh, let's look at a few stats around Gemini 3 Pro. It's the most intelligent model available yet from Google DeepMind. It has SOTA reasoning capabilities, 1501 ELO points on LM Arena. It's a next level vibe coding capabilities. It is multimodal from day one, and it's available as part of Google AI Studio as well as the Gemini API. So we'll also open Google AI Studio and start with that. I do have Gemini open with the use case that I want to try out, which essentially was to build an app which gives me information around what significant event today is based on Hindu Panchang, or essentially the Hindu calendar, and then try to build something which also lists me the phase of the moon is today, what is the significance of the day, essentially like a Hindu Panchang as I mentioned, right? And instead of it being an app I open to get information, I want the app to have multiple widgets that I can add to my iOS home screen or as part of my lock screen widgets where I can see this information. So this will be a project that we'll try to build using Gemini 3.0 and Gemini APIs and try to publish it on the App Store as part of this series. But yeah, that's the goal we'll try to achieve through these live streams around Gemini 3.0. But let's also look at a few numbers, right? It's one of the best models and in the world right now. It is currently beating both Sonnet 4.5 as well as GPT 5.1 almost on every benchmark, as you can see. If I zoom in, so humanities last exam, Gemini 3.0 does 37.5%. Similarly, across all benchmarks, as you can see, RKGI2, AIME 2025, there's a huge gap in terms of the capabilities that are now available and on offer through Gemini 3.0 and Gemini 3 Pro APIs. With that said, this is one of those launches that I've seen from Google where they have hit from all sides and corners. So they have launched, for example, 3 Pro. It's available on API from the API from day one. It has a lot of hype that was being built up over the last few weeks, especially on X or Twitter, talking about when the launch is. They have worked with multiple partners like Cursor and others, where the platforms also support Gemini 3 Pro from day one of the launch, as well as the fact that they have also introduced certifications across different categories for students, educators, as well as K-12 students as well. So that's been one of the things I have noticed, that they have been firing on all cylinders at this point, which is a good thing. And finally, Google has woken up the AI race. And kudos to OpenAI for actually pushing them to launch all of this at this velocity and speed, so that there is healthy competition among them. The other thing that Gemini 3 Pro is also available all is their own native platform called Anti-Gravity, which is essentially a competitor to Cursor. We look at Anti-Gravity in one of our other videos where we build another project around a marketplace app and a Shopify store. But yeah, with all of that being said, let me close all of these. Let's come back to our prompt and our problem statement on the iOS app that we want to build. I am already on the Pro plan. This is on the thinking mode. How do I know which LLM I am using? I don't know if I have visibility to that. Uh, yeah, it's just thinking with 3 Pro. Yeah, so this is 3 Pro. This is the latest model. Uh, but let's use Gemini to improve this prompt as a draft or a planner for our app, and then use Google AI Studio to actually build the same way the same model is in place and available to us. So in order to prompt it further, what I'll do, I'll open Whisper on my Mac and prompt it with instructions on what I'm trying to build, so that it has the most context available. Oops, I meant to do a control enter. But yeah, what we are trying to build here is build an iOS app, which essentially I can download on my iOS device, and with the aim of publishing it into the Apple Play Store, where essentially what I want to do is uh, provide Hindu Panchang details. So let's say every morning during the day, at a certain interval, I receive a notification through the app telling me this is the Panchang for the day, which includes essentially everything from sunrise, sunset, what's the significance of the day based on the Hindu calendar. It is it a Purnima or an Ekadasi or something like that? What's the significance of the day? Uh, what the moon phases, what should I be aware of heading into the day and be taking care of based on the Hindu Panchang calendar and the events that uh, the day signifies for. What I want to do is through this iOS app do two things primarily. Build this app so that I am notified every day in the morning, essentially as a summary on what's the Panchang for the day as an iOS app, and then what I want to do is have iOS widgets created for all of these information. One for the Hindu Panchang calendar to be visible as a widget. What's the significance of the day to be visible as a widget? The phase of the moon, the sunrise and the sunset, as well as additional information that I can present to the user as part of an iOS widget on the home screen. I want to at least create 5 widgets that are available when a user downloads this app. So what I want to do through all of this information I have provided is build a plan and a document that I can pass on to the stakeholders and build a certain iOS app up to the standard so that it is approved, leveraging any additional APIs, design mockups, formats, covering all of these details as part of the document and making it available to the developers who will eventually build the same. Now, with all of this being available, all of this being prompted and written out by Whisper through my dictation as my preferred dictation app, let's just expand on this and see if there are any Apple Play Store. I have been Apple App Store. I'm still an Android boy at heart. What do we do? Or maybe I've just been around people who have had Androids for a long time and I was exposed to them. A lot of these typos are pretty normal. We will enable 3 Pro. For the tools, we'll enable Canvas and let it do its thing. Just a second, it'll enable its thinking mode and do all of this. What we can meanwhile do is I want to see how current apps look. Let's see if Date Panchang app. So as you can see, there's probably thousands of Oh, they have a calendar view, which is interesting. I like that. Okay. Vibe Modern Hindu. So it has created a PRD for me. Okay. And its summary, header, body, action, aesthetic, yes. It has defined endpoints. It has saved details, UI UX, accessibility, la 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 la, risk and mitigation, developer handoff. Okay, this is good. Let's stop. Thanks for the canvas, it looks really good. What I would also want to do is also have like a calendar view with icons and emojis highlighting the overview of the month in terms of Panchang that's available for the user as part of a view or a section within the app, along with the widgets and the notifications that we discussed about. Also, Vibe sounds like a very generic name. uh, Please, let's think of a better name, probably something Sanskrit, something more relevant, something more uh, unique, worthy of building as a brand and potentially marketing it out to every sort of person tracking and using these dates for their own consumption. Okay, let's see what it does. Hindu post. Okay, this is good. छुट्टियां त्योहारों और पंचांग का विवरण. This is good. This is a calendar view. It shows something similar. But yeah, do they have an iOS version? I don't think so. Or maybe not even that. Okay. But yeah, let's come back to our PRD Ojas, formerly Vibe. Okay, Ojas looks much more interesting as a name. Okay, a lot of this is fine. What do I do? Create web page. I don't need anything specific here. All I need is to copy the content of the canvas. What we'll do now is move over to Google AI Studio, provide it with this prompt and tell it to execute on the same. I have the following prompt crafted where I want to build a specific app, go through the details, build a plan and an action item to execute and build an app for me on the same. So let's see how it does. This is my sort of base level prompt, and this is the content that I have copied across from Gemini, creating in order to create the Ojas app for me. And let's build it. It's using the latest Gemini 3 Pro model and should perform well, but let's see how it does. uh, there's preview and device. I can switch over, I can download, I can save it to GitHub, I can even make it go live, and a lot of these things, so which is a very good addition and a welcome change over Google Gemini's interface. But yeah, I think that's the other thing that I want. Google, now that they are listening to users and making these changes, there are things scattered all across, right? So you have Gemini's interface, which is like the chat GPT competitor. You have Google AI Studio, which has much more granularity, at least in terms of visibility and other things it can do. Thirdly, you also have Notebook LM, which has its own purpose and use case, which I agree with. But a lot of these capabilities probably can be consolidated, and you also have now anti-gravity, which we will review in a next video, where we try to build a marketplace application and see how we can make that live. But with all of that being said, let's see what it does. The following code, it adapts blah 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 React web application. So I think that's the first mistake it did. It is trying to build a React web application, whereas what I need is an iOS app. But I don't know if a React native app would have made a lot of sense, but no worries. Allow this app to request access to geographic location. Okay, let's see what it does. Allow this time. Let's go full screen, why not? Authenticate, aligning with the cosmos. Interesting. Krishna Paksh Chaturdasi, Visakha ends 9:30 a.m. Then Anuradha. Engage in meditation and prayers. Avoid starting new ventures or major financial decisions. Krishna Paksh Chaturdasi. Now the other thing is I am not really fluent in all of this or have any idea if this is correct or incorrect. That's something I'll have to figure out by talking to someone who knows a lot about this. But yeah, with that being said, this is Ojas. What is this? Prana morning brief. Okay, I can turn. Okay, today is 20 November. Rahu Kal 1 to 2. I don't really worry about or care about all of this, but all I needed to know was sunrise, sunset, uh, moon 8%. I don't know what that means, or only 8% of the moon is visible, something like that. Vishakha, Krishna Paksh Chaturdasi is significant for Shiva worship and preparing for the new lunar cycle. Okay, what is on the 30th? That looks interesting. What is on the elephant? Okay, is it done or is it still going? Okay, it is going. What's this? I mean, doing this as a one shot is pretty good. It's looking solid. Uh, but yeah, feedback. I want the calendar to be interactable. So if I am clicking on a certain date, I want it to present me information and panchang of that day. And I think 20th November today, or essentially 19th November 2025 was actually Amavasya. Please confirm that through your API source and uh, identify the change. But primarily what I'm looking for is the information to be dynamic and a little more detailed instead of being a little over the top. Okay, let's see what it does. Shift. Oops. Let's go. And it's pretty fast. I think all of this took just 28 sec. It thought for 28 seconds. It ran for like just over a minute, and it just, this is so quick. And that brings me to the point that I was looking at someone tweeting where if you are a software engineer, start becoming the CEO, because that's where we are headed. Software engineering is probably going to get automated now. By automated, I mean a lot of the functions will probably become, the executions will, cycles will become shorter and shorter. And for large scale applications, you will still obviously need developers, like you need a pilot for a aeroplane. Even though autopilot exists, you still need human intervention. Those sort of jobs will be there, but the bar will be very high. And the fact that all of these changes are available at such volumes, such speeds, and such low cost makes me wonder that an average software engineer will not be able to make it if they don't upskill themselves. Disable, let's come back. It's still working and it's still executing, which is good and fine. But yeah, let's see what it has built for us. Aligning with the cosmos, calculating Panchang for the day. Let's look at the code for a second. Components. Is it making any external API calls? I would assume it to be doing something. Services, Gemini server. Okay, it is just calling Gemini actually. But yeah, that's fine. Let's look at the code. Oh, I mean preview. 12% illumination. Okay, that makes sense now. I know for a fact that 19th of November was Amavasya. Let's also confirm that. 11th November 2025 was. Eh? I made 19th. Sorry, my bad. 2025, bro. Where am I? I think I've lost it. Shani dosha. Right? So yeah, that was accurate. Let's see. Let's see if what it does for the 19th of November 2025. Uh, and if it is accurate. I know that it is not using like a third party API service for this. It is just using uh, a Amavasya. Yo, this is good enough actually. Krishna Paksh Chaturdasi, then Amavasya Swati ends at 9-2, then Vishakha 4. Amavasya. Okay, this is looking pretty good, pretty solid actually, and I'm liking it. The color, the tones, the name, the calendar, great. What I would also want to do is actually provide it in different languages, right? English, yes, also Hindi, probably to begin with, and then future, and later down the road we can add more. Hi, please also add a Hindi language uh, based uh, depiction of all of this information, and toggle or a section where the user can switch between languages of English and Hindi. What's this? Okay, it's just a refresh button. Okay. Okay, I'm interested in seeing. Ideally, the response should not change. If I just refresh, 20th November or 19th November is still uh, was Amavasya, Krishna Amavasya, Visakha dedicate. Okay, now it's telling this is 0.5%. What day is this? 20th. Okay, that's a little misleading. But yeah, I think what we'll have to do is probably get to reliable sources to be used. But yeah, for now, let's give it the prompt to add support for a different language and see where that takes us. And ideally, I don't know if this code, which is written in TypeScript, can actually be converted into an iOS app. We'll have to also figure that out, and if it means we have to write it in Swift or Flutter or any other language, we'll have to prompt it to do the so. But yeah, I am a little confused by the fact that yes, Amavasya was supposed to be till Shumurat, and I think the emojis are now gone. Let's make a note. Add emoji identifiers to the calendar as well. We don't need really a dark mode and light mode, just language is good enough for now for the users we are catering to. And I don't know if it is right, if it has written iOS code for me where I can install this app and add those widgets. But yeah, maybe once this is done, we'll add emoji identifiers, the language bit will be done. What I would want to prompt it to is to actually start referencing some third party APIs, at least identifying and using them to cross verify the claims it is making, just so that it can self correct itself and not just hallucinate and give some vague answers for that day. Also, identify any third party APIs that could provide us this information in order to cross check around the same, whether the following APIs report the same information in comparison to the current source of using Gemini's LLM. So now it's Shukla Pratipada Anuradha for the same date, which is again uh, tells about Govardhan Puja, and the illumination has also changed. This looks to be pretty concerning. Let's see Hindi ब्रह्मांड का साथ के साथ सरेखन. Okay, solid enough. Let's see how the Hindi looks on the app and what we can do from that. Krishna Amavasya Anuradha. Okay, now it's again Amavasya 0.5, which is a little concerning, as you can see, as you can guess from the hallucinations, or sort of the different output it gives across language. So 0.5 here, Krishna Amavasya Anuradha. Let's see what it is. What does it do in Hindi? Because it has to ideally be the same, and the date is the same. We have not made any changes to the date. It's just the date 20 November 2025. Krishna Amavasya Anuradha. This is now 1% emulation, which is again misleading. If I don't have the correct information, how am I going to carry through the day? But let's add these two prompts and see how it does, and does it try to source information from a third party source as well and confirm before applying any of these changes. But yeah, with that said, what I would want to do right now is probably play some music for you guys who are watching the live stream at this time of the hour. Or maybe I can find a better music that is the standard music that we use. Oh, Spotify. Let me fix this once and for all. It's making some changes. Yeah, I don't know. It has given recommended APIs for verification, but I don't know if it is using any of them. Let's look at the code and confirm what it has done. Krishna Bhavasya Anuradha, aligning with the cosmos for today and calculating the Panchang. Ideally, I don't really would be opening an app to look at this information. This should either be a notification or a widget in my home screen or within my lock screen as well, around certain functions, so that I can make use of it. Now if you see, it's 1.5% illumination for the same day. Krishna Paksh Chaturdasi, Amavasya begins 7:25 p.m. Vishaka ends and then end. Okay, whatever that means. For introspection, ancestor rites and spiritual cleaning. I think Sunday was Ekadasi. Let's see. Or maybe Saturday was. I don't recall. Let me just confirm that. On when was the actual Ekadasi that I was aware of? Krishna Triyodasi Swati. Let's see. It was probably the day before. Okay, let me confirm. Friday. No. I'm trying to look at the dates. That was on the Sunday. So I think Saturday was Ekadasi. Or maybe Sunday itself was. Not sure. But I think it gave the wrong details. Another way I can find out, and just Krishna Ekadasi. This is for the 15th. Yes, it is correct. The 15th was the Ekadasi, but it did not have any icon for Ekadasi. And it does have an icon for the 30th, which is, I think, Ekadasi 30 November 2025. Which Ekadasi? Let's see. Mokshida Ekadasi is December 1st. Okay. Let's see what it does. Also, as part of the brief, include the icons that have been represented within the UI of the calendar, showcasing information around what the day is about, so that there is reference for users when looking at this information within the UI. Also, I think 15th November was Ekadasi, so that needs to also be accurate enough and be cross verified always using a third party API. Okay, so let's give it some work to do. I'm honestly liking it a lot. And with platforms like this and the capabilities that they offer, making such apps is pretty easy, and this is just one shotting everything. Krishna Panchami Mrigashira. Okay. सूचन आज कृष्ण पंचमी है जो चंद्रकला के शेय का प्रतीक है। यह दिन आत्मनिरीक्षण और आध्यात्मिक चिंतन के लिए शुभ है। ओके, दृष्टि कैलेंडर का ब्ला ब्ला ब्ला। Okay, so this is doing very well, and what it is prompting me to do is use a third party API. As you can see, Divine API or Pro Kerala API to get this information. What we'll do is probably make that a part 2 of our video, where we look at actually publishing this live on an app store, or at least making it available through test pilot within iOS. Okay, so the icons are here. Purnima, Amavasya, Ekadasi, Festival, Sankranti. Was it 19th Amavasya? Yeah. We definitely need to look at third party sources and identify such sources to do this work. But yeah, as you can see, all of this done in within 30 minutes. What I will do is save this, and we will continue building this app, publishing it to the live store, building widgets for iOS, and making this the go-to app for anyone who is interested in Panchang, knowing about the Hindu calendar, what the day is, what does it signify, and so on. But yeah, with that said, that's all for today. I'll sign off and see you guys in the next live stream.
Hello, welcome to my YouTube channel, guys.